Hey guys, it's Michael from Devoted to Vinyl, and in this video, we're going to be discussing 3 things that you should absolutely, positively, always avoid when it comes to buying a new turntable. So if you're in the market for a brand new turntable, there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is that there are tons and tons and tons of record players to choose from on the market today. The bad news is that, well, there are tons and tons and tons of record players on the market. And because of that, you can seriously suffer from paralysis by analysis. There are automatic and manual record players, moving magnet and moving coil cartridges, vertical tracking force, record players with built-in speakers, anti-skate adjustment, turntables with and without built-in phono preamps. It's enough to make the average person think, maybe I should just go back to Pandora, or Spotify, or Tidal or something. Where are my CDs at? But if you do have the will to push forward because you're that interested in buying a turntable, there are some things that you should avoid in the process before you make your big purchase. So in this video, I'm gonna give you my top 3 things I think you should avoid when it comes to shopping for and buying your brand new turntable. All right, so let's kick this off with number 1. All right, so number 1 on my list is this. Avoid spending too much money or not enough money on your new turntable. What? That made more sense in my mind when I said it. Now, I've said it before in a previous video, but it's really true and it bears repeating. You get what you pay for when it comes to this hobby. So for example, if you're only willing to spend about $40 or $50 on a cheap portable record player, then don't be surprised when it doesn't provide you with the longevity and the performance that you would ideally prefer it to have. At the end of the day, high-end turntables can sometimes cost thousands of dollars. And so if you're only spending $40 or $50, you know that quality was low on the list of priorities for the manufacturer. Now, at the risk of sounding very contradictory, I do want to say this. Don't go nuts here. Especially if this is your first turntable, you're not 100% sure if you're all in on this hobby and you have a limited budget. Because unless you know that you're 100% all in on the vinyl hobby, there's no reason to spend $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 on your very first turntable. Now personally, I'm a big proponent of upgrading your equipment slowly over time so that you can really get a great feel for what you like and dislike when it comes to your sound and your setup. I actually made a video about this previously, and so I'll make sure to link to it below in the description just in case you want to check it out. Ultimately though, my thoughts are this. Don't buy a cheap record player just because you want to save a buck or two. If you don't have the funds right now, consider saving up for a little bit longer and buying a turntable that maybe costs $200. The fact is, there are many mid-range turntables that you can buy for just a couple $100s that can provide you great value for your money. All right, now let's move on to number 2. Number two. Why do I do these things? All right, so coming in at number 2 on my list is to avoid buying a turntable that limits your ability to be able to make adjustments. Okay, now here's a little caveat to what I just said. If you're somebody that wants to buy a record player with built-in speakers because you think it fits in better with your lifestyle or your personal interests, then go for it. Do you? But just know that a portable record player, like the Crossley Cruiser for example, is going to severely limit your flexibility when it comes to vinyl. And that's because hardly anything is adjustable in a portable record player. Things like tracking force and anti-skating adjustments are preset by the manufacturer. You have no ability to make any changes to them at all. And if after some time goes by, you realize that you're not really that happy with the ceramic cartridge that came with your portable record player, and you'd like to upgrade to a moving magnet cartridge or a moving coil cartridge, well, that's life. You made your choice, can't really upgrade, you're kinda stuck with it. So to avoid situations like this, I'd recommend that you buy a turntable that allows you the ability to be able to make adjustments and upgrades to your heart's content as time goes by. Because in order to be able to get the best sound possible when you're listening to your vinyl records, you're gonna wanna be able to do things like swap out your platter, upgrade your cartridge, or simply adjust your tracking force. All right, now let's move on to number 3. Number three. All right, so number 3 on my list is to avoid getting a turntable that's a really bad fit for your setup. So it's important to remember that, as vital as your record player is, It's just one audio component in your overall audio setup. Because all of the other components, like your integrated amplifier, or your external phono preamp, or your bookshelf speakers, have a huge impact on how your music sounds. Records played on my Clear Audio Concept turntable, connected into a Marantz integrated amplifier for example, sound a bit more harsh in the high end than records on the Concept when it's connected into a Cambridge CX A60 amplifier, which sounds a bit more neutral to my ears. So, taking everything into consideration, it's important to understand that while your record player is important, it's not a miracle worker. Buying an expensive high-end turntable won't produce great sound necessarily, especially if it's connected into a poor phono stage. And it certainly won't help if your speakers are low quality, or if they're simply not driven well by your amplifier. Now on the opposite end of the spectrum, you could have a high quality amplifier or high quality speakers, but if you get a low quality portable record player with a ceramic cartridge, you're going to be very disappointed in the sound quality. So just like a great football team, where everyone needs to work together to find success, your audio setup works in a very similar fashion. Your turntable may be a great quarterback, but it's not gonna matter if the rest of the offense is garbage. I know a little bit about that. Don't make me go all day. I can go all day. Turn this into Devoted to Browns. Figure out how we gonna turn the Browns around. If you liked this video and you found it to be helpful, please hit the like button down below. I always appreciate it when you do that. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Devoted to Vinyl, if you want to be alerted whenever a new video drops. And before we go, I want to leave you with one question that we can discuss together in the comments section. And it's this: what is the one thing that you think is most important when it comes to buying a turntable? Is it the manufacturer? Is it the price? Is it the cartridge? Is it the tone arm? What is the one thing that you think matters the most when you're buying a turntable? Make sure you leave your comments down below. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say, and if any of you have any questions, I'll be down in the comments section, as always, responding to as many people as I can. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Can I just get one Super Bowl appearance? Just one. I'm not even saying a win. Can I get a Super Bowl appearance for the Cleveland Browns? I've seen one playoff victory in almost 35 years. That's not normal.